As you know, Thursdays 4:30 my time. Not sure what it is in America, but we have the pleasure of having Jess. Now, Jess, we got a lot to discuss in it, and I'm gonna try my best to guide the conversation. You know, we got 3 wins from 3. We're still in the comms. Obviously, everybody shut up about us from set pieces, and then obviously we go and beat Chelsea. That becomes the narrative. You're well aware because I see you tweeting about it in relation to the Brighton gaffer. But how are you before anything?
I'm good. Despite the overall appearance, I'm good. Like I am just excited to kind of break some of this stuff down and yeah, talk about the arse. Why not?
As you said there, man, I don't know where to start, man. Should we just start with the obvious, man? Before we get into the Brighton gaffer, do you think I want to ask a question to you? Do you think we're the villains of the Premier League, or do you think we're labeled the villains? Because on one hand, I think everyone can admire, everyone can look if they take off all their caps of what clubs they support. Football is not entertaining in the Premier League, quote unquote. I think some people want entertainment when Arsenal was shit and it was all banter and whatnot. But football is dead now. You know, every manager is micromanaging. The ball's in play less. You know, there's more of an emphasis on dead balls. And obviously, it's bigger than just Arsenal because it's not just us, but we happen to be quite good at it. Do you think we're the villains of this or labeled it?
Yeah, I mean, I think that we were everybody's favorite punching bag for like 10 years. I think ever since like, the mid 2000s and then beyond 2010s throughout that we were everybody's favorite punching bag. Then AFTV became big and everybody used to AFTV and chill, and when you lose your favorite punching bag and the tide starts to shift and the narratives that you used to use against Arsenal are no longer valid and the bullied become the bullies, it's not something that I feel like people are taking very well. And I also think there's an element of people that just fall in line with Arsenal hate, because there are people that fully support other top 6 teams that basically only do Arsenal content. We
100%.
are the main characters. We make people money. We get the clicks. And then there's just,
And we not done nothing or won anything.
yeah, but I always use that argument. I'm like, for a club that everybody says is mediocre, not a big club, hasn't won anything, you talk about us quite a bit. It's rare that I would talk about a team that just doesn't win anything. So Arsenal are, beyond Manchester United, one of the biggest sleeping giants out there. And Arsenal are not, historically loved at all. We know that, back when it was George Graham, Arsenal were hated. Early Arsene Wenger putting out teams that were almost fully black also comes to mind as well, and foreign. So Arsenal have never been well liked, and I think we were knocked down just enough where people were like, okay, we're going to keep you in this spot where we're going to always make fun of you for not winning trophies and continue to hit you and kick you while you're down because it's fun and we can all pile on, because then we don't have to think about our own clubs. Now with Arsenal at the forefront, they're still not thinking about their own clubs there. I mean, it is the meme of Arsenal in the brain, and everybody like, oh, that's all I can think about. And it's just interesting, so it's mass psychosis, and I really hope we win this league, because the level of will kill them, genuinely. I mean, some of the stuff that they're talking about, I'm just like, the Premier League hasn't been a good watch for years, and if you love
City ruined the league and are boring, so we ain't got no chance.
Yeah, and if you wanted good football, you should have supported Arsene Wenger when he talked about it. You guys just called him a specialist in failure and said he was a loser and he lost his mind.
And said he was naive and he don't want to adapt to the times.
Yeah, so adapt. You just have to adapt. I feel like the only managers that are speaking sense are Mikel and Pep. They know you have to adapt to what the Premier League is.
And they all moan about set pieces, but they all recognize it's a necessary evil in this current climate.
Yeah, I mean, I was having this conversation with a friend too, that it's not so much that the Prem has gotten worse, it's gotten better. Those teams that used to just lay down and play, bad tactics against the better sides and just let them just kind of score loads of goals and it was just an easy day out. those teams are spending more money. They're investing more into their teams. They have better coaches, better tactics. They have some means that other teams did not have. So you have these Bournemouths and these Brentfords, and they're not just going to lay down and play the way that we want them to play, which is why it's actually the inverse of what people think it is. The Premier League is harder, so the better teams cannot just go away to Brentford and Brighton and Bournemouth and just expect an easy day out. They're going to have to.
I know they're 20th, but Wolves, these are the games that all of us kind of struggle in, really and truly.
Yeah, it's a tougher game out there. So, yeah, that's why I really think, like, Slot, I get it that he wants to appeal to the anti-Arsenal people. You know, if you say that I love the beautiful game and all that, you're going to get plaudits and people are going to pat you on the back and say, oh, yeah, I love what he's saying. But they have more set pieces than we do in 2026. Like, ain't nobody trying to hear all that. If you don't
Spurs have scored 13 goals from corners. We've got 16, but a higher percentage of their goals, unlike us, is from corners. So this is what I mean about the mind games.
All that. Yeah, I'm not trying to hear all that. You need to adapt. And if you guys don't like the direction, then across the league in terms of time wasting, set pieces, all that kind of stuff, you can address it. But you can't tell the smaller, quote unquote, smaller teams to just lay down. And if that's because that's what you're going to have to ask. You're going to have to ask Bournemouth, Brighton, Brentford, all these teams, open up, don't defend, so that we can get a better brand of football. And that's not going to happen because there's too much money involved. So, exactly. I mean, Brighton have beaten Chelsea, Brentford, and Man City this season with more time wasted than what we had against them last night. And they won all 3 of those games. Nobody gave a fuck. Nobody cared.
He didn't care.
Yeah.
And that's cool.
They didn't care. And you have to do that because you cannot go down. They're sitting in 13th. Without those points, I'm pretty sure they would be down there by the relegation zone. There's too much money.
You need to be street smart. I remember Klopp's football, like at the beginning when he was just, it didn't matter, minute 0, minute 90, I'm going for it. He realized, okay, I can keep that philosophy a bit, but I need to obviously see out games. And if anything, that's a testament to Brighton. Now, Jess and myself, and you lot in the chat, we can all recognize football or English football ain't where we want it. We've always been critical about how Arteta has been in the last few years in an attacking sense, and I definitely have been. The one thing I would say with the Brighton game, took a lot out of you against Chelsea. You know, you can see a lot of slug matches in the midweek games. It was just about the performance. If anything, that's testament to you. But even saying that, Brighton, you had chances. Before Saka scored, you could have flipped the game on its head. You had an effort where Minte shot into his own man. Your keeper fucked up. So what are you talking about? What is going on? It's jarring. And for me, people, where they kind of draw out Arsenal and again, I'm not saying this is entertaining, but this is the dynamics. Football isn't going anywhere. You look at someone like Company. He played great football in the Championship. He's kind of played great football in the Prem. It did not keep them in the division. And then for me, it doesn't make sense because by all means, you know, we play statistically the highest line. We're up there for percentages. We're up there for touches in the box. We're up there for total goals, let alone goals scored from set pieces. Like, if anything, like, we can have a wider discussion. If everyone would take their cap off of their clubs about the state of England, but are you angry because we're somewhat doing everything and your team isn't? Or are you unhappy that we're the best of a quote unquote in terms of the realm of entertaining football?
Yeah,
a bad bunch.
When managers like Arsene tried to bring a different brand of football into this league, they wanted it out so badly. They chased it out so badly. They spoke about, we don't play that way. The British way is this way. When Newcastle first got their money and they really put on this tough British Northern persona, you guys ate that shit up and you liked it because they were beating Arsenal, right? They were using set pieces, wasting lots of time, really fouling players, and it was obvious, but it was but that's the style. That is the British style.
Remember that 0-0 where they got praised for dark arts against us?
Yeah, it's dark arts. It's proper football. You guys said that when Stoke and Blackburn, all of them were doing is proper English football. If you can't do it in a cold day in Stoke, then you don't belong here, right? So now to be clutching pearls, the only reason why people care is because a team that they constantly criticized about trying to bring a different brand into this league is now doing proper British football better than the teams that they would prefer doing it to us. Because we're just playing the way that you guys have always wanted British football
playing the
to
game
be.
better than you. That's your problem.
This is it. This is all. It's like that's as simple as it is. It's as simple as it is. Like,
I hate the player, hate the game, man.
Yeah, we're just doing it better than you guys do it. And this is your style. I'm sorry, I'm not saying that English football cannot be good, but for the most part, it is not heavily revered for its fluidity or it's any of those types of things. And when Arsene tried to do tiki-taka, they killed him. They killed him.
So
I'm not trying to
run
hear
that in this division.
Yeah, I'm not trying to hear all that. I'm not trying to hear all that.
I don't even care. I don't even care. Like, I really don't care. And all of this, it's not entertaining. This is why people don't want Arsenal to win silverware. I remember the Invincibles weren't like. People didn't like the United sides. People didn't like the Chelsea sides. It feels like this guy on the picture is living in social media. But we don't care if you like us. Of course, we want to play great football. All our players are scoring. Like, if there's one thing Arsenal fans are unanimously agreed in, it's not necessarily the personnel up front, but it's one, the ethos in which Arteta goes about attacking, and two, obviously, us wanting to score more goals. You lot open up, you lot be naive defensively. Nobody likes time wasting, especially when it goes against you. In fact, last season when Rice got sent off, do you know how much time you lot were wasting, Brighton? And I hear that. You have to be able to do that. You have to be able to win ugly, see out games, take the sting out of games, and especially away from home, kind of quiet the crowd down. I understand it though to the Brighton gaffer, because as I said on the stream just before we're obviously here, yeah, we're big bad Arsenal. We're public enemy number one. You lot were doing the light show, and we spoilt the party. Gabriel, Magalhaes, Raya, and all of them spoilt the party. So hold that. Like we have to. When decisions go against us, when time wasting goes against us, is what is.
Yeah, they shouldn't have. And there's been very little mention of the fact that they gave us something to hold on to. It's not like, I mean, your keeper was rank and let that ball go through his legs, so you need to think about the fact that you had a lot of the ball. You had about 67% possession at one point, and you did nothing with it. There were plenty of times where I saw, your players kicking the ball out of touch, your players not making good crosses. And so when you do that, we get the opportunity to throw the ball in or take goal kicks, and we took our time. So your wastefulness is also a reason why you lost that game. I hate when we give teams something to hold on to, because I know they're about to do to us what we do to them. It's up to us to change that narrative. Our defense kept your attack out. Matoma did nothing. Ruder did nothing. They did nothing. Our defense
had a number of chances. Controllables, bro.
Yeah, and if it happens in the other direction, we have to hold it. Because that's where we're at in this league.
And that's the jarring thing. I wanted to ask you, just like, obviously, like you, me, a lot of people, I don't necessarily, I just think everyone should have a fair trial. I don't want you to like us, but Football Mirror Society, it's like, if I'm going to court for whatever, God forbid, but for whatever, you have to, you deserve a fair trial, innit? It's like, you've got a corrupt jury, you've got a corrupt judge who's already made his mind up. It's long for us, innit? So I'm used to that Arsenal tax or Arsenal racism, as I call it. There's evident gaslighting, for example, I liked Rob Edwards when, obviously, they got 2 wins on the spin. I'm not disagreeing with what Wolves did. If Arteta ever ran and celebrated like them, man, if our players ever did what Rodri and Bernardo Silva does, they'd be moving mad. But cool, they call us victims. I'm not expected. I don't want to be liked. I don't expect rivals to like us. But where are you at? Yeah, and it's mainly social media fans. And I know this because there was a couple of smaller clubs that, as you said, around the time we played great football, they always kind of admired us. But it's like sometimes I wake up, Jess, and I know social media ain't the best kind of case study. But it's like Brighton are on us. Newcastle are forced it. Fulham, as somebody said in the comments, are on us. Like, why does it feel like teams we don't even know like that are onto us? Like, or their fans, like they're proper onto us. I don't know why.
It's just people are sheep. I think people have to understand like the way social media works, and especially in football, nobody wants to be left out. So, and a lot of people that do social media at this stage are young. And I'm not saying this to be like rude, but they are young and they're followers. And so if you know that you're going to get that pat on the head and you're going to get that gold star, that brownie point, that them clicks, those likes, if you say something bad about Arsenal, you're going to do it most of these people don't believe what they're saying at all. They don't. They genuinely do not believe it. There are a core group of people that hate Arsenal, and some of it is like valid. I expect our rivals to hate us, but the people that are piling on, this additional group of people, they want that pat on the back. They want that pat on the head. Good little dog. You know, they want to be accepted. If you step out of line, you know, the people don't want to do that, but that's just normal life. People want to be accepted. They want to be a part of the cool crowd. And right now it is cool to hate Arsenal. That's it.
I wish I had an answer, but like even that, I just feel to remain impartial, like because you know we're the poster boys of corners and dead balls and time wasting and things, and I'm happy to wear that flag. You know, I don't really care because Arsenal fans have seen the other realm. Like for instance, the Brighton game. How many times over the years has a Brighton been done on us? But for me, though, you have a degree to just keep it chill because, as I mentioned there, yeah, Spurs have scored 13 goals from corners. Nobody knows that, but you all know about Arsenal. A stream I was on earlier, like with big up everyone. I'm not going to bring it all up, but I was looking at average time around goal kicks, around corners, around this thing, around that thing. It's not us. Like, it's genuinely not us. But that's my issue. Like, when you say things enough times, yeah, whether it's a lie or not, it becomes facts because people don't bother to critique their own knowledge, let alone like information they're hearing. Like, it's proper jarring. I do have to ask you though, Jess, yeah, like because as much as we're talking about externally, internally, I do think as much as you know, I'm a freedom fighter. I just said I wish it, you know, like it was fair for everyone to be praised or criticized. But I do think there's a lot of Arsenal fans who chomp on the bit that are fighting the fight of, you know, please not even validate us, but like please be fair to us. They're biting, like they're preaching to the deaf and the blind, essentially. Like, what do you make of them kind of fans? Because for me, I don't get it. Like, these people don't like you. They're never going to like you. It is what it is. There's always every football team that's one stuff or any athlete that's one stuff. They've never been universally liked. They might be liked when they retire, but I just feel some of our fans, I wouldn't call it seeking validation, but they're trying to fight for justice. They're trying to preach to the deaf and the blind, isn't it?
Yeah, I think they think that these stats and our points tallies and all that, it should prove that we're a good team, but it still hasn't for a lot of people, you know, and they don't understand why. They just need to they won't realize this until we win something and people still hate us, but they're only going to hate us more.
Invincibles has 11, 12 draws.
Yeah, I mean, they're going to hate us regardless. The Invincibles were hated down. They were respected, but they were hated badly. Like, you know, so it's not going to stop either way. You know, it's only going to feel better for us if we actually win. And that's all that really matters. But I just think validation, you know, being a part of the cool, all that is about young people on socials. That's not real life. It's
who can get the most.
They're gonna hate us no matter what.
And I got you.
Yeah. So it's gonna next season, it's gonna be horrendous. It just is. You know, there's gonna be tons of these weird rules about set pieces and all that kind of stuff.
Everyone agreed on it in pre-season, all these managers and that, and it's changed. There will be a review, and
yeah,
I think we're braced for it because didn't that happen last year when we was good at set pieces? But we do need to evolve.
Yeah, 100%. So yeah, they're never gonna like us, and that's okay. You know, the better that you are, the less liked you are in sports. So, you know, I hate Man United still to this day. Like, they literally pissed me off so badly just by breathing.
Yesterday was amazing, man.
As a club, you know, and they haven't been good in a long time. So it's just the reality.
Hold it, hug that, and again, you know, the one thing I'd say is it's so ugly, it's beautiful. Like, I could understand because what people forget, is I've been seeing Ramsdale getting dashed in his net from set pieces, and we used to cry about, oh my God, there's hands on him. Nobody said anything. In fact, Gary Neville and Jamie Carragher were sitting there and dancing when Brentford did what they did. We all remember Aston Villa. We remember how in the game at the Emirates in the 2022-23 season, how, and it's nothing to do with Eddie Howe. Big up yourselves. You was in a good moment. How their dark arts and the ball being out of play and all of this kind of stuff was praised. Gabriel Magalhaes, you know, a couple of times we've gone to Newcastle and done dirty, but we all remember when he got absolutely barged in his back by Joe Linton. if you're seeing all of these things, I can't blame Arteta for, adapting when he's come out and nobody's helped. But we now want to play dirty. Gabriel Magalhaes, you've tried to be honest and on occasion, not been given the foul. Of course, milk the fuck out of that. As you said at the beginning, the problem only now is the bullied have become the bullies in a sense, people. And that's why people don't like us. I know Pep's not the same, yeah. It's because Pep ain't been boying us, but when we started this little project, oh yeah, Arsenal are good, Arteta's doing his thing. As you said, pat on the back. The minute we start looking a bit dirty, he's got no time for Arsenal. He will, unrelated to what we're talking about, he will mention Arsenal for no reason. That's the realm we wanted to cross into. Kind of lastly on this Brighton gaffer, yeah, because I don't really want to waste time. I saw this because of you, because I see you reply to it. And if anybody just listening, this is what makes him a hypocrite, because he's done it. Arsenal averaged 31.4 seconds per restart versus Brighton. Brighton averaged 26.5 seconds per restart this season, but averaged 38.7 versus Manchester City at home, 33.7 versus Chelsea away, and 33.2 versus Brentford away. Common denominator, they won all 3 games. So what do you, especially with what's gone on, like, and what we've been discussing, like, what do you make of that? Is it just as simple as he's a hypocrite or what?
Yeah. I mean, essentially, he wanted us to allow him to do the same thing to us. Had they had scored first, they would have kept the ball out of play. Like, it's just that simple. So for him to sit there and try to act like he's the poster boy for good football and football morality is bullshit. And I'm not trying to even be funny. That is one of the worst Brighton teams I've seen in a while. And they played much better football under Graham Potter and Roberto De Zerbi. So you're not some, football god or anything like that.
You're doing well because you've been in 33, but just shut up, man.
Yeah, you just are mad that Arteta outdid what you wanted to do, so he's whack.
And he's before the game as well, man.
Yeah, and he's just a typical, I want my head patted on, I want my gold star from Carragher and all that.
Like, kid, man.
That's it. He
got 9 wins.
He's whack, man. Like, this is like I said, one of the worst Brighton teams I've seen in a while. I wasn't particularly impressed with what they were serving up either, so whatever.
Exactly. So like, what the hell is going on? But again, with everything we said, we bopped them 3 times. He's just gonna have to hold that. That is absolutely his business. That was just something I was reading. This kind of sums up stuff as well, Jess, as well. This is how it goes.
Oh, man.
We just can't win. Because we used to care about this. We used to say, the performance and be the football purists and whatnot. People didn't back us. People didn't back us. You told us we're whining about refs. When we tried to be the oracles about playing sexy football and like that kind of stuff, you didn't want to hear it. We said, all right, cool, it's the belly of the beast. One thing that now annoys me is when they say Arsenal fans just talk. Granted, they do. But every football fan does. And even if you say Arsenal are followed by 2 million people, like, we're one entity. You've got everybody talking about us. We're surrounded. Like, I don't know, man. But this is why we just need to boil piss and fucking win the league, bro. And he is right. We did take long. That was the highest we did in the match. But there's been
we did.
Like,
we did. And Arteta did it on purpose too, because he knew Arteta is a like elite rattler and a rage baiter. Like, he did it on purpose. He knew Hürzeler was going to be crying because he was crying before the game. So we did it extra. We did it more like than we would normally do. And I don't, because the thing is they tried to instill some weak ass rule about 8 seconds at the beginning of the season. Where's that gone? Where's that gone?
You seen anyone sent off like how Martin Rice was ironically against Brighton last year?
It's gone. Once you don't go through it, they started at the beginning of the season. A couple of teams get done by it, like we were with the kicking the ball away. Once they don't keep up with it, it's kind of whatever's at this point. So yeah, it's just a part of the game now, and they're gonna have to be a lot more strict with it and consistent to stop people from doing it. But genuinely, when's the last time you've seen somebody get a yellow for time wasting for the 8 seconds? When's the last time you've seen the referee go? You haven't. Yeah. So who cares?
And even Bernardo Silva's doing a lot of bitching. And to be fair with you, he should have been given a second yellow a few weeks ago. I think everybody just has to accept. Unfortunately, Set pieces are the be all and end all. Even a Brentford with a long throw, which I need us to do that. That's the fine margins. Like the game at this moment is in a horrible state, and that goes for everyone. So you either adapt or you don't. It's your business what you want to do with that. If you want to be entertained, I'm pretty sure if you're like for me, as a neutral, when I look at Leeds, they're very entertaining. They're the sort of team that 89 minutes, they'll be 4 goals up. They somehow lose 5-4. Ask Leeds fans if they're on that. Even though the Brentford Burnley game was a madness, ask either manager of either club if they would have liked that. And when people are talking about high scoring goals, it's actually a rarity in football at this moment in time in the Premier League. We've had some high scoring games.
Yeah.
But this don't fit the agenda. And I think if you lot can't love football as much as you can, because as much as you say, because you talk about football's ruin. Not I support United, Liverpool, Arsenal, Newcastle, Brighton. You talk about football's ruined. If football is ruined, you could look at your own club, my club, everyone else's club, and look at the board, the picture, and the chessboard and see what's in front of you. Unfortunately, you won't do that because it takes time to do that. I always say, I don't tell you what to think, just think. But we spent too much time on this, Jess, man. Fuck the Brighton gaffer and anyone that's on us. Should we focus on the footy? Like, I'm gonna ask you a couple things, but before Brighton, this is the first time I got to speak to you before Chelsea. Well, after Chelsea. Like, where are you at with the Chelsea game and everything?
We didn't talk after Chelsea?
No, I don't think we did.
Oh, really?
I don't think
we didn't.
Did we? I don't know, man. Time flies, man.
The last time we talked was after Spurs? Really? Okay.
Yeah, no, I might be bugging. Let me actually, you got me down myself now. Sunday.
I can't remember now.
No, it can't have been. It can't have been because that was last Sunday, innit? So obviously we played.
Okay.
Yeah. You made me think, am I taking some drugs? I don't know about.
Yeah, the Chelsea one is interesting because they keep losing their cup final. I don't know. They had Kopama, they had Enzo Fernandez, they had their Caicedo, they had Reece, they had all of their things, and they still couldn't beat us. And we even gave them a goal, so it's just funny. Like, I'm
Another
sorry.
game set up by set pieces.
Yeah, it wasn't a pretty game. And I'll be honest, we have not played, I would say, because here's the thing, is when people hear me like complaining about the way that we play, they think I'm asking for fluid footy, and that's not what I'm asking for. In 23-24, our football to me was not fluid. It was efficient, and we controlled games. And that's kind of what I'm asking for. It just feels like there's a lot of like booting the ball, or you guys would say hoofing the ball, not a lot of control, bad touches. I thought that the first, like after the first 20 minutes of the Chelsea game, I was like, ooh, can we trap a ball? Can we not just
last few games have been like that?
Like, it was odd. And the same thing kind of happened against Brighton, where we were hoofing it and we just couldn't connect a pass. So yeah, it was a weird one, but I do think that Arsenal are kind of like in their do or die era. I think they do look at every single game as a final. They're not really particularly worried about their principles of play right now are win the game and battle it out and die for it, and that doesn't necessarily align with what we want to see. And I feel like I personally would feel a lot more comfortable if they would trap the ball and pass it around a couple times, but they're not doing it, so I don't know. But that Chelsea game, it was a hard watch. It really was. Shout out our defenders. They came up big with the goals, and did what they needed to do, and defended for their lives. And in particular, Piero Hincapie has become a very important player for Arsenal Football Club.
Great games on the spin from him this week. Well,
yeah, I mean, I would even say that he was really good against Tottenham and Wolves. I know that he
1,000,000%. Yeah. You're bang on.
Yeah, I think that's probably been my biggest takeaway off of the back these last 4 games: Wolves, Tottenham, Chelsea, and Brighton. Is Piero Hincapie is one of our most important players, and he acts like a player that knows what it takes, because he just won a league not too long ago in a league that they're not supposed to win.
I told their manager against Brighton. I love it.
Yeah, I really, when you look at the choices that Arteta has made in terms of who he's playing and who he's not and things like that, I do think that there's an element of wanting warriors out there. I think when you look at the different, and this is not to shade these two players because I think they're important to us and they're brilliant, but Hincapie and Timber are just battlers. They're warriors. They just, they kind
They
of,
relish the jewels. Not to say that others don't, but it's the
yeah,
reality.
they do. And I think that Arteta may be leaning more into that than what we do on the ball, because maybe it's just about battling
And they're
and
playing like
putting it
traditional
on the
fullback, so
line.
that kills Lewis Skelly now as well, if I'm honest.
Exactly. So yeah, I've been really enjoying Piero Hincapie. I've been enjoying, the defensive performances. We are heavily leaning upon them. And if they don't break, I think we can win the league. It's really all about what our defense is going to do. I don't really think that, not that our attack is doing nothing, because obviously Saka scored the goal, but it would be disingenuous to say that we were not leaning on our defense quite heavily at this stage.
We've been doing that, and that's something that hasn't just been here in this period, hasn't been there. We didn't learn that this season. We didn't even learn it last season, and that's where, I mean, me and you will be here all day if we went through all the live streams where we sat here and we spoke about, this player can do better, that player, Arteta, or whatever. Which leads me to ask, and that's why, to be fair, the Brighton game in isolation, I was just on results-driven business. Like, it's a quick turnaround, just get the 3 points. I kind of expected it, not necessarily scoring in the 9th minute or the chances Brighton had or their manager crashing out, but I kind of expected just get the goal, live dangerously, and get out of there. That happens 9 times out of 10. I wanted to ask you, just like, are we at that point now? Because whether it's the players, like we want to see Saka score more, this guy do this, that guy do that, our tactics, and I'm purely just speaking in attack here. Do you think it's ever going to click this season, or is it, there's 7 more wins, we can win the Prem if we do that? It is what it is. That's maybe next season's issues.
Yeah, I think, will it click? Will it not? We're a little far gone for that now. I think what we should probably expect is better attacking performances in cups and maybe more of the same in the Prem. I just don't think that what we have in terms of like what's available to us can and will click. Because it's just too, we're just kind of throwing the players out there and just kind of saying like, listen, we just need to get it over the line, regardless of, if it looks good or whatever.
You have to win.
So exactly. So I don't really think it's gonna click. I think we'll expect different performances in the Champions League. And I think as time goes on, we'll see more of Kai. I think Kai makes us better.
He looked good yesterday, apart from where he could have scored. We need him in games like that. We need all these players.
We need somebody that can hold on to the ball. And Gyökeres will probably do better in Champions League. I would look at like maybe Kai playing in the Prem and Gyökeres playing against Leverkusen, because I think he'll get more joy and he'll have more space. It's still a team game. Everybody's going to play a role. But in terms of the attack, it is what it is. Just get it done. That's all I really can really say. I'm not expecting anything like beautiful or perfect from that group. I'm just not.
I wish I could disagree, man. I wish I could disagree. Who is your man of the match for Chelsea and Chelsea and Brighton?
Oh, Hincapie.
In both.
For both. Yeah, almost Raya against Chelsea. I thought he was good, but even though, Hincapie gave up the own goal, I just think
he had a good game.
He just is insane. The heart and all that. And I think what's disappointing not that disappointing, because like, of course they're like this, but the media never really speaks about how hard these players are working. And
the narrative.
Yeah, where you maybe won't speak as much about their flair and all that kind of stuff. You cannot say that they're not literally giving it all. Watching Declan in these last couple of games, watching Hincapie, Timber, Gabriel in these last couple of games, they're locked the fuck in. Raya, I know Raya made a mistake in Brighton, but yeah, I think one thing we cannot say is that they don't care and they don't want it. If anything, they want it so much that it's making them, the little saying, like, if you hold on to something too tight, you can break it as well.
If you try to control everything, you control nothing type of thing.
Exactly, 100%. So, yeah, I think Hincapie was my man of the match, and he's become a very important player. And that's not to say that, Calafiori is not important. It's just you need those battlers, I guess. That's how it feels to me right now. You need players that are going to put the ball or put their body on the line, and he's doing that. So
I don't trust him at centre half yet, even though I want to say Chelsea when he came on, we was locked in. I still think he's because I remember saying
he played center back yesterday, and I think he did.
Yeah,
really
he held it. He held it when he had to, because Mascara. I wouldn't say you're playing bad, but they're attacking us. There's a lot of space, yellow card. We've seen that script. Let's not take that risk in it. I just feel with Hincapie, when we signed him in the summer, I remember saying one thing I like about it is if you look at him, you wouldn't know he's 23 in it. And I kind of reversed that statement when he signed for us, because you did see some like rawness, and I still kind of think that, and maybe it's just because I'm used to Gabriel and Saliba. I like him at left back. He's just a steady Eddie. I remember some fans were kind of forcing and he's made mistakes. Oh, he's got a bozo gene in him and things like kind of around the Aston Villa away game where everyone was tired. The relationships weren't there. It was just a mess anyways. It's dark. Man of the match, it's difficult, man, because I get you with Hincapie, but the Chelsea one, there's a couple candidates, man. Raya's up there. Gabby's up there. Saliba's up there. Hincapie's up there. 2 degree Timbers there. I'll give it Raya, Chelsea, I'll give it Raya. I'll give it for Chelsea, I'll give it Raya. Brighton, you have to divide. You know what? To be fair, Chelsea and Brighton, you probably have to divide it all amongst the back line, innit, really? Because it does
100%.
feel dirty, Gabriel.
Yeah, it could go
I'll give it Gabriel for Brighton,
Yeah, and shout out Timber as well, because his last 2 games have been a lot better than before. He was in really kind of poor form, and the last couple of games, he's kind of returned back to what we know him to be. Arteta successfully played somebody back into form. Wow, that's great, Arteta. Thank you. But yeah, with those players, I feel like we can kind of do anything as long as they're fit and available, because they're very much so. If we win anything, a lot of it will be
because of defenders. They need to be the first in line to lift up that bit of silverware. I've got a question for you. Timber's obviously got in his last 3 games, 2 assists and a goal. Yeah, a bit of a double sword question. Like, is he now proving he's better than Benjamin White in the final third? And also, if everybody's fit, as much as you can include, but this include recency bias, yeah, because obviously it's in Hincapie's favor. Are you going Hincapie or Calafiori? They're both fit, firing at their best, whatever.
I think there's a difference between like being effective in the final third and making the final third click. And I feel like when Timber is not getting the GA, people feel like it's not clicking as well as it would with White. So it's kind of a hard question. I think Timber is somewhat underrated in the final third because he's not smooth, but he is effective with his set piece goals and the assists that he does get. Yeah, but Ben White clicks more with the team, so because I never really considered Ben White, like, he's not a goal threat. I think people were almost overplaying his abilities in the final third. He's not a goal threat, but the angles and the passes that he picks up and his, relationship with Odegaard and Saka was so consistent for so long that without it, it feels weird, even though Timber can be effective, right? So, yeah, I think right now, if Ben White's not fit, it's not really a conversation. So
I'm nervous about that, just because even like with the Mansfield game, it's like obviously I think there's a couple things that can derail our season beyond the obvious. Like, obviously, I think we're at the stage, kind of what you've been saying, it's just get results. That it's probably more mentally now, and it's probably more mentally. It sounds mad because we've obviously effed up away from home, innit, especially in recent weeks. I just feel away from home, I feel a lot more comfortable. The crowd don't like you. The fans, even if the Arsenal fans are nervous, they're going to be making mad noise because they're trying to give you something. At the Emirates, you can kind of cut tension with a knife. So I would say that's one. And then for me, it is injuries, because I'm not naive. I hope I'm wrong, but we're in 4 competitions. And as you saw with the midweek games, whether you're in 1, 4 or no competition, everyone looks a bit knackered. I just wonder, like, Mansfield coming up, it's all fun and games, me screaming rotation, and we might just about get away with it, especially in defense. But some men are gonna have to play that you would love to have the whole complete day off. And then, like me and you are very passionate about Zubamendi. Obviously, I think Zubamendi's this. I think the only thing Zubamendi did well against Chelsea was how he marked Enzo. I think he was poor on the ball. I call him Zubamendi, he was Zubamidi. So he needs to hold that and hug that in it. And Brighton weren't anything to scream and shout about unless you're a defender. But I do think he does look tired. And I think that is a big part of it. Is if you're poor in it. If you're making the wrong decision, you're making the wrong decisions. Zubi looks spent. Rice closed up the game in the second half. But I feel even him is we kind of waited to the last kind of moments in the second half and he's going up. So I guess what I'm waffling about is midfield, we can't afford no injuries. Guys look tired. I don't know for Norgard. Kai, we need to wrap him in cotton wool because he is a striking option. We don't want to see it. We've seen him play in the 8, seen him play in the 10. So that's where my nerves come from, Jess. And look at the games. That's the only one there's rest in it.
Yeah. I just don't. I think, at this stage where we're at right now is we can want rotation. And I've been screaming about it for a while. But we're just at the stage where I think the players that Arteta really trusts for the Premier League are going to have to just kind of get through it. I think the good thing about that potentially is that players like White and Calafiori might be able to get fully fit for other games because I believe that they're having conversations not just about winning the league, but about doing many things this season. And so, exactly. And it might be the case that, the club is having conversations or the coaches are having conversation with different players about what their role will be. And I would not be surprised if the Timbers and the Hincapies and the Zubis and the Rices, they understand that they're going to be lent very much so laid on, and responsible for the Premier League. And you guys are going to come in and do the Champions League because that's the only way. And, we have to be careful with certain players too. Like you said, Kai, because we've lost him so quickly after returning so many times. Exactly. So I think that they know who can be ran into the ground for the next 8 games and who cannot. And they've chosen those players. And we'll continue to probably watch those same players in the Premier League, even if it's uncomfortable. That they've chosen Rice, Zubi, Hincapie, Timber, Gabriel, Saliba. They're gonna be in that game.
We skipped over that as well. Like, are you concerned about Saliba? Because it does feel like, and granted, I can't write down all the incidences, but it does feel like this isn't the first time this season where not obviously he's been injured, but we're going into a game. Oh shit, Saliba's not there. What's kind of going on? I know we got depth, but Saliba's. What do you make of Saliba's knock? Obviously, I've even forgot about that. Like Saliba, Odegaard, obviously White, and I'm probably missing someone else out as well, man.
I think with Saliba, it's something kind of reoccurring because it's basically been since let's call it the Liverpool game away from home, second game of the season, where that was the first time that we saw him come out. And then he's kind of had a little one here, a little one there. So, and I think as soon as he says he's uncomfortable in any way, they just take him out because they don't want to risk it. 100%. So we're in a good position where we can kind of lean on others to step in. That being said, he's missing quite a few big games. And I hope that doesn't happen later down the line, because if we go to the Etihad, we need Saliba. I'm sorry. We're going to need our best back line for that. And if we get far down into the Champions League, we're going to need Saliba. So let's see how things go. But I think it's the right thing to do, especially you're not to shade Brighton, but you would feel confident still winning that game without Saliba.
This is the thing, man. It feels like such a long time ago, but Rice right back, Norgard centre half. I don't really want to get into those scenarios. If we do, it is what it is, and this is why you've got depth and whatnot. But we're really just gonna have to muck in. So, what's your 11 for Mansfield? Obviously, Kepa in goal, I assume. Where else you going?
Kepa. Kepa. If White is fit, White.
All right, let's make it interesting. White's not there. White's not there because we don't know what's going on with him.
If White's not there, then I would play. If White's not there, then I would play Marley Salmon at right back. I'd play Sarah. I'd play Calafiori. I'd play MLS, Norgard. whoever else you have available, I guess. I guess it's Dowman.
Dowman's gonna come in. Noni's gonna have to come in.
Yeah,
Trossard, you can come in. Jesus, you can come in.
Yeah, a noose.
Midfield. You see what I mean? Midfield is
what's his name? A noose.
Harriman and Noose, yeah, on the bench immediately. You're rolling.
Get him in there. You know, I would really. I mean, I know you could get done. I know you can, but at the same time, it's like this is our only real chance to let people sit down for a second. So I would take it very seriously. Like Razzle saying Eze has to play left 8. You mean against Mansfield? No.
Yeah, that's what he's saying. Yeah.
No, I don't think so. I think sit him down. You know why?
He needs to be sat down, but it's kind of what you're saying, Jess. It's like a needs must thing. Because obviously, I was looking at this game of, all right, Cala, you're getting your starts because you need minutes. Havertz, you're getting your starts. Gabriel Jesus, you'll be gone at the end of the season. This is your thing. Max Dowman getting the lineup somehow. Salmon getting the lineup somehow. Mascara, you're getting, Mascara, Norgard, Kepa, this is you lot's thing. But then, if White's not there, if Odegaard's not there, imagine.
Yeah, but for all intents and purposes, let's say like
I'm nervous, man.
Eze is our only fit number 10 right now, is he not? No Merino and no Odegaard. So he does kind of have to be saved right now. You can't count on Kai. You can't, So of course
I would. 90 minutes in them. The I
would sit him too. I mean, the type of lineup that I'm putting out is going to be reflective of it being our last opportunity. Jesus, go play 10. I don't, it's, you have to just.
You got 90 minutes, Jesus. Do your thing, man.
Yeah, just do it. And then you'll have people on the bench in case it gets ugly. But this is it, So, yeah, I wouldn't even risk Eze because if for some reason, like Odegaard's knee injury is worse than feared, which he's not even on the bench at this stage. So, and you don't have Merino. If something were to happen to Eze, then what? No.
And Zubi needs
all three midfielders.
How the game comes out, Zubi off, right? Not that I would rather risk you, but you're a bit more durable. Zubi, you should not be traveling, innit? Like, you can travel as much as you want. You should not be on that pitch because I can't imagine you're not playing, like you're not starting almost all these games. Obviously, you got the champs, and depending on what we do, but I just don't think we can fuck about with we can't fuck about anymore. Like we really can't. We can't avoid no injuries. We 100%. There's no low key. We miss Merino.
No, we miss Merino badly, and I would say this is why I'm hoping that at least one of Odegaard or White is fit, because like let's say White is fit, play White, play Marley Salmon, play Mascara,
maybe even Lewis Kelly can go
play Calafiori, and then play MLS in midfield. That pretty much solves 90% of our issues. You play Dowman in the 10, you play MLS, you play Norgard, you play Madueke, you throw anyone up front. I don't care. You just have to, because there's just not, this is it. So, yeah, we do miss Merino bad. Like, he just scores so many important goals. And I know that he's not physically what people would want in terms of like, he's not super agile, fast, quick, any of those things, but he adds something that we miss. But at the same time, Kai coming back will help too. So
we just need to wrap everybody in cotton wool, man. Marco, one love for the super chat. Big up Jess and DG. Before I carry on, if you got any questions, get them in, folks, people. Big up Jess and DG. Not trying to jinx it, but I do sense that today feels different. People are nicer to us. The air smells fresher. Is it just me? An Arsenal victory will do that to you, my boy. But I will only think like that when we obviously do what needs to be done. It will probably only sink in that we've won the league when we actually, not even when we've done it, like next season, when I've actually seen us. I just don't know, man. It just won't be the case, man.
Yeah, there's still a long way to go. These next 8 games are going to feel like death. So,
What are you saying for this? Big up BG. Question DG/Jess. Are you concerned about the upcoming international break? We always lose a player or two for some reason. We need the whole squad for the running. Me, I'm shook, bro. I am shook. I can say that because these boys, we don't do the sinister thing. Either Arsenal don't lock these men off and say you're not going, or the players don't play the game. Now, I understand it, national pride, World Cup, all of that. But I do think we have to be a bit cute and clever with this, which I don't think we're going to do, or they're going to do.
Yeah, I mean, there's just no way it's the last international World Cup, so everybody's gonna, and our players, even though they're pretty established, they still. Am I back? Sorry.
Was that me or just people?
I think that was me. Am I back?
Yeah, I can hear you. I got nervous there for a sec.
Yeah, I think it was me. But yeah, I think that our players still think that they're on the bubble to make their national team. They're not, but they'll go. And we just have to hope that they don't do anything silly. They don't get injured, in particular, Rice and Saka. You're on the plane. Don't worry about it. You're on the plane. Don't do anything stupid. Jog.
I even think Noni's there. I don't think I think Eze is how.
Yeah, Eze will have to. Eze has the hardest position to try to lock into.
You'd go as the wild card.
Yeah, it is what it is. But yeah, I mean, I'm a little nervous, but at the same time, it's like at this stage, even if we lose players, you guys must. This is the best opportunity you got, But what are the dates of that international break, by the way? Do you know?
No, but we can find out. When is, you're not mocking the times now, are you? When is the next international break in football? AI, help me.
Also, while he's looking at this, I just want you guys to know that they are actively in the process of sacking Edu from Nottingham Forest.
Oh, God, I shouldn't laugh, but yeah. Edu's something's going on, man. Like, you keep stinking up the gaff. Maybe it's not you, but yeah.
When
can you get off Merino, Elliot Anderson, and them man before you go? But
when they backed him over Nuno Espirito Santos, I was like, yeah, you guys are done. Like, you guys are done. All he wanted was Adama Traore. That's all he wanted. That's all he asked for. They couldn't even give him that. They couldn't give him his. They couldn't give it. Edu is. He'll probably never work in England again. Go on. Is that not the day after the final?
Yeah. Wait. What? What are you talking about? The parade or this?
The final, the Carabao Cup final. Is it not March 22nd?
Oh my God, you might be right, Oh my days.
Oh, whoever doesn't win that is gonna have to live with it for a week.
Yeah, that's banter,
We must.
It literally is. Probably as soon as the last ball's been kicked, you've had your shower. I don't know if England will probably stay in England, innit? But I don't know if they've got to fly anywhere. It's time to go do your thing. You're right. Great spot, Jess. Great spot. And if anyone's just listening on audio, it will be the 23rd to the 31st of March. That will be the international break. That's a shout,
We must, guys. I don't care. Like, of course, I care about the Premier League, but beating them will help us so much in that final. It'll give us what we need. We must. I'm
starting to get nervous, man, because it's just like, do you know what? It's just our luck. You see, around this period, maybe not. I don't want to speak into existence, but this is when the fucking about starts. Like David Ornstein bomber. This one's got an injury. Season's done. Hopefully, there's some good news and Marino's back sooner rather than later. I don't know, man.
Marino's done for the season.
I think he's done, but and obviously Arteta's capping, but it sounds like he might be, he's race against time. I'm trying to make that World Cup.
Bro, I would be devastated for him if he did not make the World Cup, because he had just established himself in that midfield as like the starter. I would hate that for him, because last World Cup he was basically behind Fabian Ruiz. Now he's in front of him. So I would be devastated for him, because he's 29. So I don't know what the T is for him for the next one, but we'll see. I love Merino. Merino is my big, he's the most frustrating player, but I actually love him so much.
I got time for him in the squad. I've said this to you before. I feel there's just too many men in our squad that I feel that way about Merino. Like, I'm not disrespecting Merino, because I do think he's given a bad rep. I do think he understands the system. I prefer you up front, definitely when games are like yesterday and you can help us see it out. But I don't like you in midfield, but I think there's a need for you. I just feel different levels, but the same way I feel about him is how I feel about Kai Havertz and all of these kind of players, like, to different denominations. I feel when you got too many of them in your squad, it's and then as you know yourself, as you know yourself with them two, I am looking at the pathway long term. So I'm probably thinking seasons in. I am thinking about Skelly and Wanyeri and Dowman. And, we've been linked with several. We'll get onto the transfers in a bit, but we've been linked with several big ticket midfield options that are kind of on the younger side. So I do kind of think, how is this all going to mesh and gel together, sort of thing, if that makes sense.
I agree.
But that's tomorrow's problems, I guess.
Yeah. Merino I don't think he was ever a long-term fix though. Like, I don't think he's long for this, for the team.
And Arteta just likes him.
I think he's like a Band-Aid kind of, not a Band-Aid, but a tool that we're going to use for like 2 seasons or so, like 3, so.
But that's what we need. And you know what? One thing I would say is, I don't mean this in a disrespectful way. I do think if you want to be a title winning side, you need to lean on them kind of man. Like, I'm not saying he can't play amazing, but if there's a 10-game stretch, he's probably going to drop you minimum a 6 out of 10 across that, where a couple other man, you might be hot and cold. Like, it's like even recency bias included. It's like even right now with Hincapie and Calafiori, you're still finding your way in terms of form. Right now, Hincapie is playing a lot more than a 6 out of 10, of course, but I know what you're going to kind of give me, and I do think you need to play on it. It's like what we said the last time we was live, and that we both love Odegaard, and obviously he can do his thing and whatnot, but where I feel with Odegaard at the moment is, if there's been any highlights about your season, it's been your cameos off the bench. Newcastle comes to mind. I'm sure Spurs, and there's a couple of others. Can we use that and play on it just to get us over the line? Of course, next season, you can get your squad, your spot in the team back and do all of that kind of stuff. But yeah, man, I forgot to ask you as well. Like, what are you actually saying for Leverkusen? Like, now that it's almost on the horizon, like, what are you actually saying for it?
I mean, the Champions League gods are on our side. At the same time, we can't take anything for granted. And so Leverkusen, obviously, like, they're nowhere near what they were, but we've seen that we can fall to any team on any given day if we're not on our shit. So we're at home, or we're away first and at home second, which is great. End it in Germany so that we can chill a little bit at the Emirates. This should not be, again, we went to Inter is the best team in Serie A, and we wiped them at their spot when they needed it. So we're a really, really good team, and we know the state of Europe, but if we're not on it, we'll be in trouble. So yeah, I'm not saying that we're just going to roll over them, but I am saying that, as long as we're professional, I think this is a really favorable tie for us.
Jess, you got a question as well. Jess, you've kept your feelings super balanced. Big up, Rob. But do you believe now that we can win trophies, or are there still red flags for you that keep you unsure?
No, I think I've always, well, at least for this season, I've always felt like we have everything that we need to win trophies. In fact, I've said in the last couple seasons that there's no reason why we shouldn't have made it to a final or won things, because this team is more than good enough. This season is a tough one because when the transfer window closed, I did not think that we were going to be better than Liverpool or City. But now that the season has played out a little bit, we're in a really good position. So, of course, we can win the league. When you have results like the Wolves one, I think you can't really begrudge anyone for having doubts. And I think that's where people need to slow down just a little bit, where the Wolves result was there a couple of weeks ago and it felt like it was all over. Now we're winning it. So we kind of need to remember that there's still a lot of games to go. But this team is more than good enough to win shit. This team is a 7-point gap. We can't be cool. Yeah, for sure. And I'm not gonna lie, like, the performances for me, it's not about the style, it's about the lack of control. And I do think as the pressure gets more and more, I do think we need to have a little bit more control. But yeah.
And it's us versus us, isn't it? Like,
I've
said it. I think you can be as negative or as positive as you want to be as an Arsenal fan, but I think every Arsenal fan can agree that meme where it's like 3 people and you're hitting yourself over your head. We can either be our best friends or our worst enemies. And I keep saying the same things. If we want to get to a destination we ain't done, we need to be something we haven't been before. That's the gaffer, and that's obviously the players. That's why people call me dismissive. I'm not really interested in what we're good at. Take the good and make it great, Take the evident areas of improvement and improve it. And one thing I would say, it's a lot easier said than done, but I kind of thought about it when we was talking about, Rice's decision making in against Chelsea. Zubi's the same, yeah. I remember Ian Wright's interview, and it's completely off topic, but he was talking about Ollie Watkins of what separates the good strikers from the great ones is your ability to take your half chances. Now, we can all agree that goals change games at any given stage. And I know it's easier said than done. And me and Jess have done a lot of speaking about us in attack anyways, much less half chances. But I do always wonder about these half chances. And I have kind of been thinking, I know you can't score them all, but I have been thinking about them. Like, Kai could have bagged, Trossard could have done better against Brighton, Zubi and Rice against, obviously in the game against Chelsea. So it's a bit of a weird one. Jess, I think we've disrespected someone in the stream, We haven't spoken about Bakayo scoring 300 appearances, goal of the season contender.
Yeah.
We have to, we're rude, man. We're rude. What are you saying for Bakayo?
Listen, I think you make your own luck, and yes, the goal was fortuitous, but I've seen many a player in this league be lauded for lots of goals that are like that, where they shoot and it deflects and it goes in, so it is what it is. I wish we took more risks like that. I wish we took more shots like that.
There's a period we were kind of seeing that, but it's kind of gone.
Yeah. With Saka, I think he's just kind of the best part of a group of attackers that just need to play their part. It's not that he was bad or anything like that. I don't think anybody outside of like really Gyökeres really was like, ooh, maybe Trossard a little bit too. He was a little ranked too.
But shit. Gyökeres didn't bring that into the table. Kai was like admittedly one of the best attackers. Saka was okay, but it weren't amazing. Nelly, if I'm honest, Nelly was on with like I didn't even remember Nelly was playing. I understand him starting backwards, but to be fair, Brighton's attackers were shit, man. Like Mitoma, what's his face was the best one.
They were
they brought off the bench. Everyone else was crap.
Yeah, basically canceled itself out. I think Saka at his best this season has created quite a few chances that were not put away. And at his worst,
goals as well,
snatching at chances and not really scoring and finishing his dinner. At this point, it just kind of is what it is. I would say that, part of the problem with the attack is that the first person that touches the ball when we're trying to release and go into the attacking in our attack mode is Gyökeres. And I think as long as he's receiving the ball first, we're going to have less and less opportunities. Because he was just giving the ball away. Like, he cannot be our outlet. So if we change the outlet to
as well, man. If I'm honest,
excuses, but if we change that outlet to maybe Kai, maybe it'll be a little bit different. But Saka's doing what he can, and to be fair to him, he's basically carried us for a couple years. So, and it's had a fantastic season. So fantastic seasons back to back to back. So with the injuries that he suffered, I expected a dip. The dip is there. So I'm not going to pretend like I don't see it. I feel like there's a lot of Arsenal fans that are like, no, he's dipped. He's dipped, but he's still playing his spot. He's still playing his role. He's going to score big goals for us this season still. So, I don't feel like I want to get on to Saka right now. There was a part in the season where I was like, you need to do more, but I've kind of come to the conclusion that if he could do more, he would.
Do you think he's lost his acceleration or lost a bit of it? Because that is something that's been floating around type of thing.
I do. But I think he kind of lost a little bit of his acceleration when he grew a little bit. I think he was faster a couple years ago, when he was younger and lighter. Now he's a little bit heavier because he's actually a grown man now. So, Saka, he tried to kick it around one of their players yesterday and tried to run, and I just said,
that was dead. I know what you're talking about. The second half, that was dead.
I was like, shit. Like, it is what it is.
10, man. Or put Kai in the 10 and let's just run that to the end of the season, man.
Yeah. So, yeah, it's sometimes it's not because the players don't want to. I feel like sometimes it's they cannot. And with our attack, it's not like they're being handed opportunities left and right either. It's not like our midfield is creating loads of chances and they're missing. It is what it is. Saka, he's our star boy, and this is what it is. I don't want to get.
I'm the worst person to ask about Bukayo because everything you said, I agree, but you can do no wrong in it. I'm with you to the end. It's Bukayo Saka. If life was fair, we'd all have a lot less. Granted, if like all the things we're saying and you said about Saka, if we was applying that to Noni, just to use him as an example, I'd have a very different opinion, but I'm human, innit? This is how it works. If Haaland misses a sitter, City fans are going to allow him a bit. If Marmoush misses a sitter, they might be onto you a little bit. Obviously, it's all kind of relative. I do think it's a weird one, though, in that even though Saka ain't been at the races this season, yeah, most of his big games, like Fulham away, he ain't got the GA. Sometimes, not that he has, he's got GA and he's kind of been dead. Like, I think you were good against Spurs. I think you weren't dead against Chelsea. You just pissed me off, if I'm completely honest. Like, I wouldn't say you was ducking the 50-50s, but you're losing the ball and kind of laughing. Yesterday, you was calm. You was probably the best of a bad bunch, but really and truly, there was nothing to scream about from our midfielders or attackers, as you said, on an individual basis. It's our fucking defenders. I want to get to this question as well, Jess.
Yeah.
Who is your player of the season? But before we get to that, yeah, who's your attacking player of the season so far? Like, if we had to just, because we're on the topic, like we just had to, what's that? Noni, Trossard, Saka, Nelly, etc., etc. Just the attackers. Like, who'd be the one for you?
Stark.
Darkness.
Just Stark. Our best players in attack also are our defenders. So I guess you'd have to just give it to Saka because there's just, I know that some people say Gyökeres, but I cannot.
That's harsh though, man.
I cannot. If you say Gyökeres has been your best attacker this season, my eyes do not deceive me.
The goals though, it ain't that striker job. With all the noise and the scrutiny and all of that.
If he plays against anybody over 17th spot, it says he doesn't even touch the ball. Like, I don't know. It's Saka. I'm going to give it to Saka, but it's just not a single one of you guys will be our player of the season. You guys will be.
We all know. Like, there's more chance of Raya than you, man. Not to boy Raya. I'm not boying him.
Yeah.
Hincapie's got more of a chance.
Own goal.
Yeah. Own goal's been mad. And you know what? Him and Saka have a great relationship. We've been getting on to Arteta about relationship.
Set piece or own goal. One of those two.
You know what? Fair play. You know what? If I had to... It's a weird one because I don't quite think Gyökeres, but you did have your little turn to the end of the season and whatnot. Well, the turn of the year, turn of 2025, beginning of 2026. So I do want to say this might shock people. Genuinely might shock people. Trossard or Martinelli. And that just tells you the state we're in. Just because the only thing I've been shocked by in attack this season has been when Trossard had this little purple patch. Obviously, he's kind of falling off now. When he kind of had that. And Martinelli, relative to that little squad rotation, super sub thing he's got going, especially in Europe, I'd say them. If you put a gun to my head, I'm going to go Trossard. Now, we saying for player in general, like...
Oh, Declan Rice.
Gabriel Magalhaes.
Declan Rice. I think only Gabriel. I think Gabriel is starting to come back into it now because of his last two games. But before that... He was Ricky, and then it was more Rice. It'll go to either one of them, I feel. And if we do anything special, it'll be because both of them were doing their thing. But, I think Rice has done a lot of heavy lifting. And Gabriel has scored quite a few goals and been good for us in the final third. So it'll go to either one of them. But I think Gabriel's last two games have this is the thing about form and like players making mistakes is Gabriel was kind of shaky, for a couple of weeks there. But he didn't let it define his season. And now he's had a couple really good performances. And when I say really good, I mean outstanding performances back to back. So it could be either one of them. But I feel like if we do win something, it'll be because they did what they do so well.
It'll be because of the effing defenders and Raya, really. And obviously, Rice as well. Like that kind of, I don't know, that first phase of the pitch. I know Rice plays as an 8, but it'd be because of them, man, innit? Really.
Yeah. But listen, like, I wouldn't care who it went to because I just want us to win. I really don't care. I think Declan has been better across the season and it had less maybe fluctuations, but Gabriel has had really pivotal moments for us in the final third that have meant something. So yeah, either one. I guess I would ask you about Saliba because, you know, it's constantly like Arsenal fans, I feel like, are always putting Gabriel and Saliba against each other, and I don't really understand why.
He's another one that you could dash into it, to be fair.
Yeah, but Saliba, I think, has had an underrated season. You know, really, I think he has. I think he had a tough last season where Gabriel really stood tall last season. Saliba had a little bit of a down season, but I think Saliba also is having a quietly good season. But I'm trying to I want to understand why he's not in those conversations as much as Gabriel. Is it just because he doesn't score as many goals? Is it just that? Is it that?
I just think you know what? I just don't think the highlights catch Saliba, you know. Like, it sounds dumb, but obviously he's a passion merchant. We're used to him. I just think he's so gracious and just calm at his job. No one really asks his question because it's weird you said that. Because when you just said that, I even thought, oh, obviously, like, I'm sure there was a period where I was even making videos and putting it in the caption, like, oh, he's been the one. He's in a real good moment. I ain't got Jess. That's a fucking good question.
Yeah,
I don't know, maybe just not that he's quiet.
I think Saliba's having a really good season. I do. I think, yes, he's had his injuries, but I think Saliba's had a really, really good season. But yeah, I think Gabriel also, Saliba kind of suffers from the, you know, you don't see the things because Gabriel, not in a negative way, but he causes commotion and attention. So you see these big slide tackles, you see these big moments, you see him in his teeth all the time. Saliba's a little bit more of like the quieter one. So yeah.
Little brother.
Yeah. Yeah. So, but I do think Saliba is having a very, 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 very good season. Just wanted that to be said.
Somebody asked Jess as well. Do you guys think this is Saliba's best season? Because I would rate Gabriel higher. He's done well when he's even been stop. I don't know.
One of his best year. It's one of his best seasons.
Well, last season wasn't. Season before that, his date. Do you know what it is with him? Yeah, his date. Maybe I'm a nostalgia merchant, but I think I'll always, like, even if he kept 100 clean sheets, I think I'll always rate his. I don't want to say debut season because it's not, but like his debut season in that. Okay, you're here now, 2022, 23. You're kind of here now to be part of this. I just think I don't think you'll do better than that, you know. It definitely wasn't last season. You fucked up at the Bernabeu. I always believed in Kivio, as you guys know, man. Side note, big up Kivio. We saw him.
Saliba was probably more of a standout in 22-23 and 23-24. And then in 23 or 24-25 and 25-26, Gabriel I think came more into his own.
What was Saliba? Oh, no. 23-24. Whatever season we scored a late minute winner against Luton and we had that high vis kit, I'd give that one to Saliba, you know, because
I did. No, 22-23 and 23-24.
Oh, yeah, fair. No, yeah, that one, because he was picking up man of the match in
25-26 for Gabriel. Yeah, but Gabriel, I think also with Saliba already has the stamp of approval from world football. I think everybody rates him, thinks he's great, thinks he should be playing at Real Madrid, whatever. But Gabriel, because of the way he started out and the fact that for some reason people couldn't
never win some man over, man.
Yeah, you're 22, you're going to make mistakes. And he actually did not get to come into a team that had him in it. He had to come in.
Pablo Marie was better than him.
Yeah, with the bad defenders. So Gabriel just started off slower. Yeah, I love Gabriel and Saliba, and I don't want to say that we're lucky to have them because it's not like we didn't buy them and, you know, pay them. But yeah, they're special. They're great.
I love them both. Let me ask you this, yeah, because it's too easy, isn't it? Because of how I think because of how I think you view the game, yeah, I have to add a caveat because I think it's too easy, isn't it? Let's assume, for argument's sake, and just humor me, yeah, Saliba and Gabriel Magalhaes are same age. They're the same age. There's X amount of an offer that comes in. You have to sell one. Who are you going, Saliba or Gabriel? And which one do you think, not better, which one are you going with? And which one do you think will miss the most? Again, they're same, for argument's sake, they're same age. Let's just say, fuck it, they're both 25.
That's just too hard to.
That's why I got to ask the difficult questions.
I can't imagine. But
I'll sell Saliba.
I think
Because I'm mentally accepted you're gonna go Real Madrid one day, anyways.
well, probably. I think we
And I
will.
think you deserve it.
We would miss Saliba more, but I still would sell Saliba.
I think we might even miss Gabby more. Slightly. Big bro.
Well, Gabriel
There's no rights
has
and wrongs,
intangibles that are just irreplaceable to me.
I can't, like, when Saliba makes mistakes, nobody speaks about
Yeah,
it.
but Gabriel's intangibles are just, I can't imagine this team without Gabriel retiring here. But if, like you said, I already kind of imagined Saliba somewhere else.
You know he's getting that Saudi money soon, man.
So for me, it's a really hard question. But Gabriel's intangibles are something that I feel like this team absolutely needs. If you have two Gabriels next to each other and you have two Salibas, I think you're better off with two Gabriels. That's all I'm gonna say. Because he has the leadership, and this team cannot afford to lose a leader. Saliba, what you'll miss is his
gracefulness, his
sweeping,
calmness,
what he does on the ball. You're
his
gonna miss
footballing
that.
IQ, everything. Like,
yeah, you're gonna miss that.
Nasty centre halves, man.
Yeah, but I think I also am more probably the type of defenders that I kind of love are, and like I love the passion merchants. I can't lie, like that gets the people going, So I kind of love the passion merchants, even though of course I rate Saliba, but I just think he'll go on to play for Real Madrid and will be fantastic, and it is what it is. But I expect Gabriel Magalhaes to retire here.
You reckon?
I do.
I think he's going to get that Saudi money soon, man. He deserves it, bro. I know what you're saying, because he's a passion merchant. His girl's a passion merchant. His kid is so cute. What do we do to strike gold? Berta and Arteta, man, for the new deals and bringing them.
Yeah, but at the same time, it's just not. It's not. I don't want us to have these conversations. So let's just. I like that both of them have been vocal about wanting to stay here because they want to win things for Arsenal. Like, we've never had players like that before. They've all jumped ship before we could get there. So,
all right, another question then. Forget the same age thing, yeah, because Neil is saying Madrid gonna bang on the door for Gabriel right now. I'm telling you now. For me, I more believe Saliba. He's younger. They're on him anyways.
More of a Galactico type signing anyway.
Exactly. But you look at Real Madrid in the present day, in terms of prime and what you could do right now and the immediate impact. And to be fair, Gabriel is like a bit older than Saliba, but then, you got Alaba that's going to move. You got Rudiger that's got to move. Like, I don't know what you would say for a fee, yeah, but like you could get, let's just say.
See, this is the issue. This is what I'm telling you. Like, and for people in the comments, like, Gabriel's intangibles are something that we cannot afford to lose because you can find good center backs, but you can't find good center backs that are also great leaders, that also score goals. Like, that's what Real Madrid need more than anything, but they'll go for Saliba because he's the fun signing. Like, he's the Galactico. He's the one with the more cachet. They need leadership in that squad. Bad.
So what? 70 million for Gabriel Magalhaes or 100 million for Saliba? Real Madrid have dropped that on your head top right now.
I can't afford to let Gabriel leave. I can't afford it.
Berta and the Cronkies are saying, you're the manager, Jess. We need to sell one. We need a decision right now. 70 million for Magalhaes, 100 for Saliba.
Yeah, but I've already accepted that Saliba will go, so I think I'm okay with Saliba going. But I feel like they would be closer to where they want to be if they had a center back pairing of Huijsen and Gabriel. A center back pairing of Huijsen and Saliba.
You're mimicking what we got already.
So yeah, Gabriel, can't let him go. The intangibles are important. We've had really good players in the past, but because we didn't have those intangibles, we weren't able to get to where we want to be. I feel like that needs to be said. So I couldn't give Gabriel away. I just couldn't. Not even.
I see why we got to fucking win something, man. Like, look what we're talking. Like, and that's the thing for me. Like, I think many football fans, if they put their banter aside and all that nonsense aside, yeah, you look at this team and you isolate the defense. Yeah, Raya is cold. I don't think he's the best goalkeeper in the world or the Premier League.
Raya is killing me.
Pardon me?
Raya is killing me.
Yeah, no,
but sent me to an early grave yesterday.
It's but he's man, that guy. It happens. But that's what I mean. When Saliba does them things, no one speaks about it. But Like, you've got Raya isolated, one of the best in his position. Timber, one of the best in his positions. As we both said, and you'd have to be stupid to disagree. Saliba, Gabriel, you bring in Rice. They're the ones that Saka as well. They're the ones that are above everyone. And then you sprinkle in people a level below. But we can't not win something. If I genuinely believe you lot are this, and I believe the gaffer, I don't know, man. I don't know, man. Like, I don't know, man. Looking at this roster, so many players easy to love. Again, we need to win because at some point you're gonna have to flush these players out and move people on. Jess, I got some things I want to run with you before I let you get out of here. Yeah, I need to find it. Tab police, you're on me, but there's a method to the madness, man. We've covered actually all of this. I saw this. I don't know if it's credible. I don't know about any of that. Yeah, but do you think if Mikel Arteta either won the Premier League or the Champions League, if not both this year, would he step down? Especially if Real Madrid or these ones are coming for you.
I don't think so.
Would you leave if it was him?
No.
What, if you was Arteta, you wouldn't cut after you win the Premier League champs? Or I've won?
Because he's at the perfect scenario where, like, there's no better job for a manager that is trusted than Arsenal, because now that he's trusted, everything is working for him. Well. He's getting time, he's getting resources, he has control. He's not going to have that anywhere else, you know? So no, I don't think so. I think Arteta will stay. I think he'd leave if we didn't win anything within the next year or so, because he'd feel like he wasn't living up to his end of the bargain. But I feel like he would stay. But, you know, I don't see him leaving. And I think the Kroenkes, if Arteta even thought about wanting to leave, would give him more money to make him stay.
He's their golden boy. And obviously, I can't really talk about things above my head, innit? But James Ellis has left. This one's left. Bert has really just got his foot under the door. I know football's always evolving and always changing and stuff, but you kind of need to keep your gaffer there. And obviously, you know, he's not Wenger in it, but he's gone from being a head coach to a manager. He's doing all of those kind of things and whatnot. If I'm him, though, I'm not going to cap. Obviously, I love Arsenal. I love what I'm doing. I love my players. If I won the champs, full stop, I'd cut. But if I won the Prem, I might stay. If I won both, ladesses, thank you, man. It's been great. It's been lit. I need to cut now, innit? I've done what I need to do. Because I don't think... You know what it is, Jess? And with Arteta, he's been here, 6-7 years? I don't think he's reaching that 10-year mark because he keeps saying, I'm not really on that, refreshments, and I need to refresh
Arteta's
my mind.
Liar. You will actually believe what Arteta... Come on. Arteta...
Yeah, but Pep done all that crap.
I feel like Arteta, just like Pep has been saying, maybe I leave. Maybe I will leave. Maybe I won't stay.
I think they beg. Like what you just said there about Arteta. I think they've been begging Pep to stay.
And I think Arteta will stay. Like, I think he'll do just like Pep. All that, I don't know if I'll stay. They are the biggest liars I've ever seen. That being said, too, it's like he needs the right environment. And I would say that Real Madrid is probably the worst possible environment for Mikel. I could see him at a PSG, actually. I think that would suit him. I think that would suit him a little bit more, actually. He'd get money and he'd get resources, but he wouldn't be in a scenario, especially with what Enrique has built in particular, like a scenario where you're coming into a bunch of big personalities that are ready to get you sacked, you know? So, but yeah, that's kind of what I would think more than anything. But Real Madrid, I know everybody wants to try their hat at the biggest club in the world, but the scenario, I mean, they are eating up those managers left and right. Don't
forget the egos as well. Yeah, you know what? You're right still. And as somebody said in the comments, 15 mil of the year, I might stick tight still. Yeah, you lot converted me. I just believe in leaving on a high, innit? Like my thing I would never want to go out, and I feel so bad saying this. I'd never want to go out like Arsene Wenger. I would never want to go out like that. Like, I think you gotta leave. You gotta do this Alex Ferguson thing. You gotta leave when you don't want to become a villain, innit? And I just feel with everything, if I'm Arteta, bearing in mind, yeah, he clearly has this ability to not get attached. Now, obviously, as the years have gone on, he's got attached. He even speaks about in his early times, yeah, oh yeah, I was too much on tactics. I needed to bond with the players as men type of thing. He turned this job down. Remember when we got Emery? We all done videos about it. He turned it down. So he's got that element. But yeah, you lot
he's not going to
perverted
take
yourself.
he's not going to take a job that I think he doesn't think that he can be successful in. So
Yeah, now
I think
you
Arteta's,
converted my thinking.
yeah, he's confident, but I don't think he's stupid, so let's see where it goes. But I think even if we do, like, let's say we win the Premier League and a Carabao Cup this season, there's still more to achieve. So, the
But
job
then
will not be
it's
done.
even more peak next year. Then if you win 2 trophies, now we're here. And as you know yourself, just once you get to the pinnacle, the most difficult thing is to stay up there. It'd be interesting, man. What do you make of this from JT before we get into the transfers? On this
Yeah.
season's performances, excluding tactics, just our attack. Where in the league would you rate our attack? And do you think Arteta could be playing more defensively because of the lack of offensive quality? With the last part, I disagree, but yeah.
I said at the beginning of the season that I thought our attack was probably like 5th best, maybe 6th in the league. And
So I'm assuming everybody's fit, yeah. Like, in fact, before we go on, what's your strongest front three at Arsenal? Easy one. Saka's on the right?
Yeah, Saka, Kai, and something that we haven't seen as on the left. I think he's probably our best left winger, and we just never get to see it.
True, I hear it. I'm not gonna lie, man. We bought Gyökeres. I'm gonna run with Gyökeres. Like Kai.
Oh Lord.
Gyökeres, Saka. I mean, Trossard, you've probably been the attacking player that's frustrated me the least, not to alleviate anything. So probably Trossard, like just from looking at this year's lens. You made a good point about Eze. So what? The question was where you rate it, yeah? So what? That front three you named and the front three I named will both go. Have we got a better one than Wolves? Yeah. Burnley?
Yeah.
West Ham?
Yep.
Forest?
Yep.
Leeds? Palace?
Yep.
Brighton?
Yep.
Newcastle.
It's getting a little dark. Go on.
Sunderland?
No, they were better than them.
Fulham?
We're better than them.
Bournemouth? Yeah.
Better than them.
Everton? Yeah. Brentford? Not on current form, but yeah. Liverpool? On current form, I have my attack over theirs, but realistically, if Isaac,
realistically,
that one, they're better than us still.
Let's be honest. Yeah.
They're better than Chelsea. I don't know,
Well, let's put it this way.
João Pedro, though.
Is João Pedro better than Gyökeres? Yes.
At doing what though?
Is João Pedro better than Gyökeres?
At scoring goals, I'm not sure because he's done it in the Championship, he's done it in Champions League, he's done it in Sporting, and he's done it here in a team that has historical issues with the gaffer attacking.
It's an interesting one with Chelsea because on paper you would probably say yes, but the way that it's functioning, no. I don't think there's really much between like Estevao and Nani, unfortunately. I see a lot of inconsistency. Just one is 6 years older, which is kind of dead. Cole Palmer tends to play on those wings too. I think, Saka is going to be our best and most elite attacker. Kai is better than Delap. João Pedro is better than Gyökeres. And I mean, Trossard and Martinelli.
No, I'm having Trossard over all them left wingers over there at the moment.
I think we're better, but not as much as we should be.
Yeah. Like on paper, they should be bossing us, but we're not functioning. Yeah. Pedro Neto. I'm having Arsenal's one on current form. Liverpool's better than us. Chelsea. Ooh, this is where it gets techie. Villa. We said for Villa.
Villa is interesting because when they're playing good, you would take some of their players, but when they're not, it's like, how
Rodgers wins the left wing battle.
Rodgers, yeah, for sure.
Right wing, no, there's Sacks there.
Yeah, they have Ollie Watkins. A lot of people would have taken him at the beginning of the season, but he's dead. I don't think he's that much. He hasn't been that much better than Gyökeres this season. So
he looks a lot better though. Maybe it has to be an aesthetic thing, man.
Yeah, for sure. Now they have instead of Malin, now they have
Tammy.
And Tammy is just, he's just alright.
Yeah, I'm not having that, man.
Yeah. Do they have a right winger? Do they have a winger?
Where's our standout right
winger? Bailey still? Like
Bailey, Bailey's there, but nah, man. Nah. I mean, he's Jamaican, I'll be shameless and say, yeah, but nah, man. Like
Yeah, I think
Rodgers is the only one I'd say, yeah.
their midfield options are what makes them more interesting
They got a
than
good squad,
anything.
though.
Yeah, they do. They have a decent squad.
Yeah, that's needed. I'm not having that.
Now the next two, I think their attacks are better than ours. I'm sorry.
Obviously, I'm going with City. City left wing, though.
Just we don't have to do
Yeah,
this.
to be fair, Semenyo, innit? You know what? So let me not be dumb, innit? Like, City is better than us. United?
Yeah, I think so.
I imagine not better than Saka, though.
I think their individual quality in attack is pretty much the only reason why they're sitting in third right now, because they have players that can do what they did against us. Like the individual quality is just.
And Buemo, Cunha. I don't really rate no one else like that. Yeah, they could have it. They could have it. They could have it. Like Sesko, he's decent. Yeah, I'll give it to them. And yeah, I'll give it to them.
I think on the strength alone of the three that they bought this summer, you know, it is what it is. That being said, like Arteta just knows if we win the league, this is gonna sound so fucked up, but if we win the league with Gyökeres, Arteta's one of he is a miracle worker because we.
That ain't a fluke. Gyökeres been in 2 title challenges. He's here, man. Gyökeres it's a miracle that Gyökeres has thrived with the tactics.
I don't know. It is what it is, but yeah, let's say I think that maybe we'll give there's three better attacks than us. So actually maybe we're the 4th. Maybe we're not 5th or 6th like I thought at the beginning of the season.
So
we've improved.
Streets are saying you hating Gyökeres now. She don't hate Gyökeres. Let's run through these transfer things quick, man. We've gone over that. Elliot Anderson. Now, this Inaki Kaya, whatever his name is. I know David Ornstein co-signed him. I don't know in it, but apparently Arsenal are making moves for Elliot Anderson. The club believe Rice and Anderson can dominate English football in years to come. Martin Zubimendi and his family will review their position in the summer. Moving back to Spain is not out of the question. Forget the Zubi stuff. What are you saying for Elliot Anderson?
I think that we will buy a player like this for midfield. They've already said that we're going to buy another midfielder, and yeah. I think it'll be of the same that vein of an Elliot Anderson or a Tonali. I think what's gonna
big ticket items.
Yeah, I think Arsenal are going to lean more heavily into the hardworking midfield. I think Arteta's doing the best with what he can, but I think we'll see 2 hardworking 8s plus the 6 moving forward. So yeah, Elliot Anderson, I really do rate him. I like him a lot. It is what it is. You know, it's really expensive. There'll be other clubs invested and looking at him. He's English, so that's going to make it even more difficult. I'd be happy to have him in the team. But it just further illustrates the fact that England prefers these types of profiles over anything else. And if Manchester United, Arsenal, and Man City are all interested in it, what does that tell you? You know, that hardworking, dueling. I mean, he's top of the league for duels. He's top of the league for this. He has progressive passes and shit like that, but he's not no maestro. You know,
and he done it at the Etihad. So
yeah. So, but I think we'll go for the more attainable option, which will be when Newcastle doesn't finish in the top 5. We'll probably go after like the Tonali type.
You reckon? I think it's easier to get Alisson than Tonali.
Get him?
I think it's easier to get him. Newcastle they're gonna do the most. Obviously, like you said, if Tonali, they ain't got Champions League football, he's making a song and dance, I want to cut. But that's just it's illogical pessimism in it, if I'm honest with you. That's why whenever I don't know if you clock, but whenever we talk about Kamara's, Tonali, Livramento, I'll always say to you, yep, I want them at the club. But I don't really give it because I know Newcastle are going to act. Like, I'm not on this drawn-out process. I didn't think we'd get Rice, so...
They will, but at the same time, it's not going to be like when they were laughing at us for wanting Guimaraes a couple of years ago because they thought that they were our competition. They're not. They're going to finish 8th or 9th or something like that, and their players are going to want to get the fuck up out of there. So they will sell. They'll make it difficult and do song and dance, but, I mean, they tried it with Isak, and it was embarrassing the way that they got owned last season. And they finished in the top 4 last season. So it's going to be even worse. What do they think? They finished in the top 4 last season. And
That's a good point, to be fair.
They still got they got bitched. Like, so I don't know what to say. It's gonna be even worse this next summer. So yeah, I think Anderson would be more difficult to get, just simply for the fact that there'll be multiple teams looking at him and he'll be the coveted English one that they will want. But Tonali might be a little bit easier to get because they're jammed up. Newcastle.
Speaking of Italian guys, we've been linked with Esposito. Esposito. I can never pronounce the man's name, but are you having him?
Inter aren't stupid. They're not going to sell their crown jewel.
We've got more chance of getting Tonali, man.
Yeah. I don't think we're going to get a striker, so that whether I think that's the
hard way, then, aren't we?
But yeah, this is a cute rumor, but it's just a rumor. It's a cute rumor.
All right, last question before we get out of here, man. We've been here for a minute, folks. What are the profiles, not really specific players, that are must buy for the summer to go hopefully back to back? A winger, an inside forward that can get goals.
Goal scoring winger.
Proper goal scoring winger.
So somebody who actually puts the ball in the back of the net.
Santa Cazorla 8, and another kind of 6 with an engine like Rice that Arteta is actually going to run. He actually use. If you're not going to play Lewis Kelly in midfield in any capacity, I want 2 centre mids.
Yeah, I doubt we'll get 2 centre mids.
Yeah, I'm dreaming.
The one that we'll get will be an all-arounder like a Tonali. But yeah,
I don't even think Tonali's. I love Tonali, but a part of me saying just Kamara's thing, like him and Rice could do some naughty stuff. Zubimendi in the cut as well. I'm having Tonali, but I don't know, man. You can forget about Rodrigo, my boy. He's got ACL or MCL and an ACL. Forget about him,
dude. Like, he's gone, man. The goal scoring winger is the hardest. Is kind of like the hardest thing because the winger market is dark, So
shit.
The Kvaratskhelia and these kinds are really difficult to try to find. So yeah, I would say definitely a winger, and make sure you get the right person this time. And then
we'll find another nonny, man.
You need to get the right person this time, and a big ticket center midfield option. Then probably a right back.
Yeah, no. You know what? I forgot about it, Jess. You're right, man. A right back with the ability to play centre half, if you can do that, or either an out-and-out right back, or one of the Timber Tomiyasu versatile kind of guys that's more skewed to the right. Because we're over. I don't want to touch tempt fate because God will make us see if we really got depth there in it. But left back, we're loaded in it. Right back, It is Timber. Obviously, you've got Timber, you've got White. We've seen Rice play there. You've got Salmon, who we need to develop and whatnot. We're dying out there, man. We have 2 sixes. This is so reactionary. We do, but there's certain games for Zubi, bro. And don't get twisted. Zubimendi's still involved. Rice is cold. Arteta don't rate Norgard like that. I actually think Norgard's gonna cut and go get some football, but boy.
Yeah, the whole idea of the sixes is that I don't think it's clocking to the Arsenal fan base yet that we're gonna play with 2 8s and a 6, and them 8s are gonna look like 6s too.
Exactly. Like it's like what you just said there with answering it. It's more of a case of you need them kind of man that can do a bit of both, if it makes sense. Like how Rice is the traditional 6, has been used as an 8. The Bruno Gamara's is, Tonali's of that same kind of hymn sheet as well. So if you don't listen to what we're saying, don't get hung up on 6s and 8s. Just more think in general, innit?
Who is going to do the duels? That's what Arteta is going to be looking for. He's doubling down. We've never been linked to. I mean, Eze was like a shock that we actually went after Eze.
Yeah.
They're gonna. I mean, look at like Berta and his track record. We're a nasty 4-3-3. If we're gonna get any creativity out of this team, it's gonna come on them wings, baby. Like that's about it.
Put Morgan Rodgers in the bag, man.
Yeah, Saka, creative winger on the right, goal scoring winger on the left, Kai in the middle. We move on. I'm not a Dodgers fan.
We need Rice. We need Rice to obviously get more goals. But yeah, you're not a Dodgers fan? Did you want?
No, I just like the hat.
It's just a cap, man. I don't even know what's Dodgers baseball. I don't even know, man. But yeah, on that note, though, folks, man, Me and Jess are putting the shift. Our team won. We've covered, the bullshit media kind of landscape. We've spoken about Arsenal. And you lot's questions, man. She's been here for a minute, so we can't keep her any longer. Jess, what have you got to come out? What have you had come out? Where can people find you? All that stuff.
Yeah, the next thing will be the match reaction after the Mansfield game, and then I'll actually be gone all of next week in Brazil. So don't expect nothing from me but Brazil content.
Can't believe she's going to be in Brazil, man. Don't support us in the World Cup, Don't get hit with the love bug in Brazil and think you're Brazilian like me and whatnot, because I've been telling you Brazil are going to win this World Cup. We're going to do it for Neymar, and now we're going to do it for Rodrigo. Martinelli and Gabriel are going to take us over the line. But on a serious note, pardon me?
All this we.
It's we. In fact, you're already becoming one. Ronaldinho's there. Like, you know what? We'll allow you. You're Brazilian, man. I can speak Portuguese. It's just not my fluent tongue, man. But you lot will see that, man. But what we will say on behalf of the platform, when Jess is back, she'll be here. S beat me to it. We did miss out on Semenyo. But yeah, safe trip, enjoyable trip. You lot will find out why she's there sooner rather than later. Best of luck, Jess. And
Thank you.
Man, pick up the chat. Make sure you're going and following Jess. Jess, enjoy your morning, afternoon, evening, wherever the hell it is in America.
Thank you. It's morning time. So yeah.
Bloody hell. I can't imagine.
Starting to get ready for my trip and stuff. So yeah.
So yeah. And again, people, go and subscribe. It's in the title. Jess, go get your stuff together, man. Don't forget nothing, man. Chat. Peace. Jesus, meaty, bro. Jesus is not rolling World Cup. Meaty now. Meaty.